What's up, y'all? Chakra-X here. Here with a how to draw Chaos Nazo tutorial. I wanted to give y'all one little upload before the end of the year. The Wrath of Nazo storyboards are going great. Act 2 is almost done. I'm at the climax final battle of Act 2. Once I finish that, then I can get on to Act 3, early 2017, and then start animating as soon as possible from there on out. But for now, let's start off with how I draw Chaos Nazo's design. So first of all, you don't need to be I personally just use Toon Boom to draw him because that's what I'm used to drawing him in. You can draw him in whatever software you have. But I'm gonna start off by first importing. Chaos Nazo's color palettes. Let's see if I can find that. Yes, cool. So doing this allows me to get all of Chaos Nazo's colors on demand right there. There we go. Yeah, cool. That's what I like about Toon Boom, is that I can make a character, have his palette saved, and anytime I need to open up a new scene and work with that character, all his colors are there. I don't have to make a new batch of colors for him. Right now, I'm just making a sketch color, so that way I can see better with it. Let's see. Okay, cool. So typically when I'm drawing Sonic characters, I always start with a circle. Now, let's see here. I draw two lines to kind of get the axis of the head. So if I wanted his head tilted, I probably would have, instead of drawing those two like that, I would have drawn maybe like this, or he's looking upwards, or like that. But for this tutorial, I'm gonna have him facing pretty neutral, a little downwards to give him that kind of evil look to him. I like to start off with the eyes, at least with Nazo. He has like these Chaos Nazo has similar eyes to his normal form in terms of like overall shape. Notice how I draw the outer line curve to convey that his head is spherical. If I just drew it straight, it would make his face too flat looking. So I draw a little curved this way when he's facing this way to convey that he has a circular head. So eyes there, little brow. Now this is what makes Chaos Nazo's eyes a little more different. He has sharp eye, I guess. Eyeliner wings on the outside, a curve in, and at the bottom, his little wing. I made him like that because I liked how normal Nazo had like black eyeliner stuff on him. When I made Perfect Nazo, I kind of did away with that, so I switched it up this time around. And then we're gonna draw a little nose. Similar nose to Sonic, little bean-shaped nose. It's in perspective, so it looks a little thicker than usual, as opposed to if it was profile, it would look like that. My recording software is just slowing my drawing software down a little bit. So I kind of, so based off the eyes, I'm deviating a little bit from the circle. Probably should have made it a little bigger, but that's okay because I use the eyes as a guideline for when or how large his mouth should be. Like that. Make the ridge of his eyes like that. You know what? I'm going to make this a little closer. See all this. Yeah. See right there. You know what? What I'm doing is it looks a little too squat. There we go. I wanted that squat. A little smirk. He has a similar smirk to Sonic. He has pointy teeth, somewhat like Knuckles. And now I'm gonna draw. Let's see. He's crooked. See, this is what my mistake was. I should have just drawn his entire form first before his face. I got a little too excited there. Before I go any further, I'm gonna get his pose down. So I'm gonna draw a line of action. What the line of action pretty much does, it's the overall like movement of his posture. Drawing that helps let me lay down, okay, what exactly is the motion of his overall body, so I'm not drawing, too randomly. And I'm gonna start off with a little, like almost like an oval. Yeah, it's about a little, not quite as big as his head. And then I'm gonna draw one leg this way, one leg that way. Now when you draw the lines, right now these lines are signifying where his feet meet his cuffs, and you gotta keep in mind the perspective of that. So I curve this downwards, you can see the top of his cuff, but since this leg is a little, it's facing forward, I'm gonna make this go up like that. And Nazo, Chaos Nazo, he has boots, more so than sneakers. So I draw a little, I guess, we call it. It goes up a little bit as opposed like to normal Nazo or Sonic's, where it's just a foot, ugly drawn foot. Sometimes I draw guidelines to figure out what's going on in perspective, especially when it's sneakers. So. I'm gonna pull in, I'm gonna shrink this sneaker a little bit, this boot a little bit. Yeah, a little closer. I did that because since this leg's sticking out, it should be like, it shouldn't be on the same it shouldn't be on the same plane. Like it should be like that. Alright, there we go. I usually start off with like a square for like I guess the top of his hand. A little bit. A lot of times I have to look at my own hands to figure out what's going on here. Yeah, Nazo has like rounded edge cuffs, golden ones. Very similar to his perfect cuffs, perfect form cuffs. Let's see, now I drew the arm up there. It might be a little too... If I draw the arm, because the arm's coming out from here, I draw it like that, it might be too, like a bodybuilder lifting his arm up. Let's bring that hand down a little bit. Actually, so what I just I undid that because in animation and illustration in general, you want to avoid tangents. Tangents, when I first dragged it, it was right here, and the line was intersecting with this leg, and it looks weird when you do that. It kind of flattens the drawing out. So instead of having those lines touch, I'm going to make sure it's obviously overlapping his leg. That way, it gives a sense of like, oh, okay, his hand's in front of it. It's not like connected to his leg. There we go. So now, his right hand is at rest. Let's see. Since that was at rest, I think I'll make this. And again, I'm starting off with knuckles. That guy's grip. Okay. Make it strong. I'll probably cut this more when I get to the thinking. My program is chugging, so now it's turning my curved lines into straight lines. Let's see. Oh, right. His arm's coming out this way. And like that. So his wrist is bent. Did I make his? I'm gonna make this fist a little bigger because it looks a little smaller than that one. Yeah, it's better. And diamond. Again, I'm doing that. I don't want any tangents in this drawing. That diamond on Chaos Nazo's chest, if you notice in the his reveal trailer, normal Nazo has this gold triangle on him. That is a piece of technology that Eggman has used to revive Nazo, and when he transforms, that piece transforms with him. And there'll be more information, I guess, about the purpose of that diamond, you know, once the film comes out. It has a black border around it, and let's see, yeah, that's the center of his chest. And similar to his normal form, he has these spikes on his back. They go a little more downwards in his normal form. Just because I don't want it to clash too much with his spikes. Top. Tail. Tangent tail. Alright, his feet. Because he has boots. Okay. Some of you might be thinking, like, oh my god, it takes this long just to draw a full body one of them. This is a more, I'm going for, I guess, accuracy here. When it's animation, I can kind of cheat and, like, I might be able to hide the feet in certain shots. So I don't have to draw the feet, or maybe it's moving so fast that I don't have to worry about staying on model too much. But when it's a full body shot like this and you see him for a while, which is the goal of this drawing, it takes longer to draw. Notice the hump that I'm drawing in this stripe, so that you know that, hey, it's facing forward. Cool. Now the spikes. Nazo's spikes. Let's see. When I designed it, it was like he would have one, I guess, swooping spike going upwards like that, kind of like supersonic. Black stripe, like shadows. And at the bottom, he would have these really like low, very thick spikes at the bottom. And they don't stick out like shadows. And shadows goes to the side like that. Nazo's kind of like go backwards, which is why every time I draw them in this angle, the bottom spike, I draw swooping backwards like that. Like they're kind of like facing, they go out and then back when it comes to those black spikes. And they fall behind. Yeah, behind his back spikes. So erase those ones. And bring this down a little bit. Now, as for his top spikes, or his mid spikes, they're like horns. They curve inward like that. I think I made his top spike a little too swoop back. Let's fix that. There we go. And he has these black tips on every spike. Notice how, Notice how when you draw those spike lines, either curving it in or curving it out lets you know what direction it's facing. So I'm gonna curve this one out. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and this. Yeah. And now for his ears. His ear is similar to Sonic. He doesn't have like how Sonic has a peach inside of his ear. It's all for Nazo. I have it all just green, just with a line that insinuates, an inside. his ears are not flat, so you gotta remember they're almost like little pyramids. And I'll clean up the sheets here. Yes. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to make him... No, that's fine. That's fine. I was debating if I made him too tall, but Nazo is... I do have him taller than Sonic, so that is fine. For these purposes. Cool. So using that as a base, make a new layer. And this arts. One thing I like about Toon Boom is that when you make a new layer, it automatically makes a layer below it semi-transparent. And this is nice because it makes it easier to trace over your lines. So let's see. I want him to be how thick do I want the line to be? 5, yeah. For this, I changed line weights depending on how close the character is to the camera. When it's a close-up, I use a thicker line, and when they're far away, I use a thinner line. Reason being, if I use, like, let's say, it's a close-up of the eye, right? Like, this is such a thin line for a close-up, and sometimes I want that. Sometimes maybe that's the style when I'm drawing. I think I use something a little thicker for the Wrath of Nazo. And when they're far away, if I use a thick brush and like you see like Sonic, like nah, this is ain't gonna work. But if I were to draw it like, yeah, but if I use that same thick brush to draw something up close, let's say Sonic's nose. Like that, it works better because the character's, you know, closer. So. But for now, I'm gonna use a level 5. Let's see. So we'll start off by going. I might fast forward this because it's just cleanup work. Now I don't have to be too accurate with this in Toon Boom because I can just use this cutter tool to slice away the edges. It makes cleanup a lot faster. That's actually the main reason I got into Toon Boom because I really didn't like how long it took me in Flash to make a clean drawing. In terms of like line art, I was undoing that bottom line because I want a slight curve. This kind of shows that he's squinting a little bit, and you know, just so the eyes don't look too flat. Wow. Man, this recording software. I'm recording on my Cintiq Companion. What the Cintiq Companion is, it's a Wacom drawing tablet, but it's also a computer at the same time. So that allows me to draw on the train, on the bus. You know, I don't need to be attached to another computer to draw. And it's pretty powerful, but it's not as powerful as my iMac. That's what I do all my special effects on. So that's why everything's getting a little chuggy because of the video recording software. Making those a little smaller. too big. That's fine. And for certain brush strokes, I pay attention to, like, you know, thick and thin, because, you know, there's, since he's smiling, his cheeks kind of like pooling when he smiles, so I'd use thin and thickness to show, like, you know, pressure being put on there. That there. There. Pull that line out a little more. And see, it's just faster for me to not worry about slowing my brush strokes down to accommodate the lines cutting each other, because I'm going to go back in later and cut it. And for me, I find that faster than, you know, taking my time. Because when I slow down, my lines get a little, like, I draw slowly sometimes. Like, it sometimes gets the line, like, not as, you know, as clean as I want. And if I took my time and did that, you know, it would be fine, but I try to, you know, make the cleanup process as fast as possible. You know, animation is a very, very, very time-consuming process, like, art form. And for me, at least, I take whatever optimization that I can get to make my work come out faster, as long as it doesn't, you know, make the end product's aesthetics, you know, suffer. Like, some people swear by drawing on paper, and those people are awesome. Like, I don't have the patience for paper anymore. You know, it's nice being able to see your drawing move on an actual physical medium, but I ain't got time for that. So something I've been doing recently with this cuffs, instead of making a straight line, right, I have it pucker in a little bit, so it's not like hard metal. It's like they're metal, but they're like malleable metal, if that makes any sense. So I have them pucker in a little bit. Chest out a little bit. Let's shift to get a perfectly straight line. Now, instead of making another line to fill that in, it'll make my life easier. I'll just make this pencil straight, thicker. There we go. Now I don't always do this, this puckering because it takes longer to draw. But when you can actually, when his hand's still, I try to do it this way. And by still, I mean if he's like punching real fast, I'm not gonna take the time to draw each pucker because you can't see it. That's my Eggman. I'm looking to other stream recording software. I've been using the same software I use to stream stuff, right? Or maybe I just need to restart my computer, and that would make things a little faster. So I'm making these brush strokes. Maybe it was fine. Maybe we're overthinking. It's fine. I'm still learning how to draw. I mean, really every artist I think is always trying to improve. But me personally, I'm still trying to improve my overall drawing ability. I've gotten better through the years, but because I look at what my friends post and what my some people I follow, and sometimes a lot of times I might see, oh wow, their form is so on point, or their character looks so three-dimensional, or their pose looks so believable, and things like that I look for to improve my art, even if I'm drawing hedgehogs. That's why drawing characters and people, objects, just things from different in different poses and in different angles. I had a little scrunch mark there on my one here too. Kind of like oh man, I can't remember the person who does the official 2D modern Sonic art, but I know he has a little scrunched upness on Sonic sneakers when he draws them. I don't do that so much when I animate. That detail is too minute for me, at least, to conclude in every single drawing. You'll notice, designs for animation tend to be a little different than designs for illustration, because illustration you have all the time to make that one drawing, while with animation you typically have to make that drawing many times over and over. So anything that you can do to quicken the process. So it might be that one less stripe or one less line, you know, that adds up if you're drawing them hundreds, if not thousands of times. I'll follow my original. See. Base of his boot needs to be here. One day I'll get better. You know what? Maybe this entire foot just needs to be not a hard fix. I'll just drag it. This is the fun part about working in vector. So I can drag these lines around. Top spike's looking a little weird. There we go. It said it must be higher. That works. There we go. Loves colors. And everybody draws, Sonic characters differently. Some draw them with much bigger ears, or even like smaller ears. I tend to draw mine, I think, bigger than most people. Like I know, like Sonic-X style, like draws Sonic's ears and Shadow's ears pretty small. But I've always liked. I want to think the Sonic Adventure 2 art gave them pretty large ears, or like average size ears. Some people like to give them like huge ears, like every animal like ears, and everybody has their style to it. That's the fun thing about. Okay. That's the fun thing about drawing Sonic characters, is that they're easy enough to draw that everybody kind of puts their own spin to them. I think I lean toward the Sonic-X style personally, with a mix of the adventure style. Like I feel like I draw my quills longer than the Sonic-X style, but my feet aren't as like round past the Sonic X style. Man, I miss Sonic X. I just wish. I guess I don't need ultra edgy Sonic X. Like that. You know, we've been down that road where Sonic tries too hard to be serious, and you know, he dies when that when that kind of stuff happens. But like I preferred the it's like I guess hearing Sonic in English, but I wasn't really a fan of their new voices. Like I think that was the point around the time they had gotten rid of the Sonic Adventure / Heroes voice actors and actresses and replaced them with the 4Kids actors and actresses to make the show a little more I guess in line with the games. And I liked the Tails' voice was cool. Tails' voice was cool eventually. But I didn't like Sonic's voice. I didn't like was it Jason Griffith? I didn't like Jason Griffith's voice until Sonic Unleashed. Personally, I'm sorry. I apologize to anyone I'm offending who are big Griffith fans. But I really didn't like him in Sonic X. I did not like him in Sonic 06. I didn't even like him in the storybook. Storybook Sonic games personally, but a lot of people swear by him. He got better. He definitely got better. I actually really liked him in Unleashed, even though I still preferred Ryan Drummond. But I do like Roger Craig Smith as Sonic. I like his. I know tons of people are going to disagree with me on this, which is fine. You know, it's very easy to find things to disagree with when it comes to the Sonic fandom. And everybody has a different taste. But I thought I thought Roger Craig Smith brought a sense of cockiness back to Sonic. I felt like the Sonic they were aiming for with the storybooks and what have you, he was too self-righteous. He was too goody-goody, in my opinion. I liked Sonic to be a bit of a dick, to be honest. I like Sonic to be a bit of an ass, to be honest. I always thought he was like a slightly cocky, a little too proud for his own good. You know, I think the Sonic Colors and Lost World and Generations did a good job with that. Sonic Boom, the Sonic Boom, I guess direction they give Sonic is a little too annoyed sounding all the time. Like sounds like a little too snarky for my liking. I feel like I like the direction they take better with the video games, the mainstream video games of Sonic, which is why I'm very excited to see what they have him doing in Sonic 2017. Because it looks like we're getting back to, world at stakes tones of Sonic. And I know there's a huge schism in the Sonic community in terms of what Sonic should be, what shouldn't be. Sega has tried so many things that it's created a split between the fans. But I personally like the adventure tone of Sonic. I thought that was a nice balance between, happy-go-lucky Sonic versus, the world's at stake, people could die kind of Sonic. I thought Sega pushed that way too hard in Shadow the Hedgehog, and even more so with Sonic 06. I thought Adventure and Adventure 2 had a nice balance between like, hey, it's a blue hedgehog that can run fast, and the whole superhero save the world aspect. Because for me, like if you think about it, Sonic's always been a little more, I want to say edgy, but a little more, I guess, slightly darker in tone than Mario. Like even his color palette, like looking at Sonic 3's art design versus Super Mario World, like forests would get lit on fire. You would see large I guess valleys and mountains in the background of marble garden stone, and like I don't know, I always thought Sonic 3 and Knuckles had a very nice mix of, hey, this is a cartoon, but at the same time there was a level of gravitas with it. And I like that. If I wanted the super fluffy stuff, I would go for Mario. Mario doesn't need to have, that kind of stuff. But I always thought Sonic had a little more edge to him, And when people think, oh, you want that edgy Sonic, you want him to curse and all that, I'm like, nah, you can have a middle ground. It's not everything has to be extreme. Let's see, I'm just looking at that. Okay, I think I'm done the line art. Now I'm going to go into color palette and start coloring in some things. So let's start with black, please. Where's irises? It's eyeliner. I don't know why I call it eyeliner. It's not. It is a part of him. I swear, Chaos Nazo does not wear makeup. If he so choose to, that would have been fine as well. But for these purposes, he does not wear makeup. That is actually a part of his eyes. I just call it eyeliner for the sake of simplicity. Giving that emerald green fur color. Now with with Toon Boom, I can just swipe and it will color parts that have not been colored. And then also paint parts that green. This is bugging me. I can't remember if I can make these edges. Usually I like these sharper. I made the mistake when I cut them. These edges are very round. Let's redo it. So slice, draw. Turn this into brush strokes. Cuts. I feel like there's a way to do this. Okay, so Toon Boom treats maybe sticker. Oh, not that thick. That's fine. And then I'm gonna convert these to a brush. Toon Boom treats pencil strokes and brush strokes differently. Now that the brush strokes, I can cut them and they will be sharp. There we go. Color. Let's see. Gold. I almost left Chaos Nazo's eyes white, but I thought the gold with purple, eye color just worked better. Like the white isn't bad, but I thought the gold, or the yellow, I should say, Did I use it? Yeah, I used it. Right, I used a different yellow. It wasn't that yellow. Yeah, it was like a pale yellow for the eyes. And I think because he's green, I feel like that just works better. Add a little shine to his eye. Oops. Ooh, too big. I feel like when you make the shine too big, it looks cute. And I don't think Nazo is supposed to look cute. Ugh, missed this too. Include that. Delete. Ah, see, I did not close this gap completely. So let us. There we go. Trying to zoom. Oh my god. Oh my god. Undo. Save. Undo. My computer is chugging. I need to finish up this drawing, so I'll read a little bit. Come on, zoom out. There we go. So I had Chaos Nazo's chest piece yellow before, or gold matches cuffs, which I liked for the when I drew the intro or his reveal. But I was in such a rush, I didn't take into consideration that his boots were purple. And I felt like only having his boots and eyes purple was too heavy. So I remember, hold on. Yes, purple boots with black stripes. And the sole of his feet, I thought I made gray. Yeah. Oh yeah, but yeah, am I pronouncing this right? Nibrock was doing renders of Chaos Nazo. And when I noticed the gold with the purple boots, I was like, I guess too much gold. And he sent me different variations of it, and I'm like, I think he sent me a purple one. And I'm like, yeah, the purple one, that's the one I'm gonna go with. And I think it just balances out his design better. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go into drawing mode, and I'm gonna use what's called the backlights. And the backlight colors up everything that is colored and leaves stuff that's not colored transparent. That way, I forgot to color his nose. And the other things are like, this is really helpful when I'm working on a white background or just missing like little gaps of color. Oh, so I'm using a slightly off-white. I try not to make things pure white for animation, unless it's an energy blast. I think it goes better for the character when you use a slightly off-white color as opposed to pure whites. But again, it depends on what style you're trying to do. Now, what I'm looking at right now is Chaos Nazo's silhouette. When designing a character, granted, even though Chaos Nazo is pretty much a fan character, more or less, it's good to take into account their silhouette. So like if you can tell what a character is or who a character is by their silhouette alone, you have a good character design. Like Sonic has a very strong, iconic silhouette. Like his spikes, you can recognize that from anywhere. Like you can make the worst Sonic drawing, but you see those 3 spikes, you're like, oh, that's supposed to be Sonic, because that is how strong his silhouette is, and I think that's why so many people like to draw him. So now I'm going to shade him using what I like to call the stroke tool. It makes an invisible line that the program recognizes, but you don't visually see. But for the time being, I'm gonna go to View, Show Strokes, so that I can see all my invisible lines. So I'm gonna draw a line here, and there. And this is how I do shading. Some shading under his eyebrow, his ear. This is just basic cell shading. I'm not really accounting for a super obvious or strong light source. You know, so I should be doing that. Under his chin. I'll cut into it a little bit. Oh yeah, sure. I'll shade his fist. It wasn't that fist. His chest is shiny. I don't know how often I'll shade it that way in the film for the sake of time, but for accuracy, yes, his chest is shiny. His chest piece, not his chest. Nazo does not have a constantly glistening chest. This is the color I use for shade, things like that. I don't just make the color darker than the green. I also make it, like when I make a shade, I make it darker and less saturated. So instead of just going down, I go down to the left. If I just took this color, and made it darker, you get that, which is cool, but I also like if you get a little desaturated too. Yeah. Oh yes, and what I like about Toon Boom also is that when you're coloring, if you want to change a certain color, since it tags the color, like anytime that color appears in your scene, it automatically updates all those colors for you. And it makes it perfect when you might, change your mind with a character, or if you want them to change colors because it's darker outside or like it's nighttime, instead of having to recolor everything, it makes it a lot easier. What's this? That is not. I think when I made this palette, I didn't make shadows for everybody, so let's make a shadow for them. Dark purple? No, it's black. Or almost black. Color this. These eyes a little. Gold. This is gold. I give it a much harsher shadow than I would use, its fur. wanted to use that gray for the fist color shading, but that's way too dark. So I won't be lazy and I will make a new one. For white, I tend to use like a bluish gray as a shadow. I mean, depending on the lighting, if it's like a sunset, I would use like a purplish. But for this kind of lighting, I use like a bluish gray. Yeah, don't take my word for it. Like this is, when it comes to coloring and color theory, I'm very basic at it. There are so many people better than me at it. You know, that you could probably find tutorials and have you that go over it in better detail or more skillfully or more accurately. Right now, I'm just showing you how to draw an evil control. Let's see. You. And we are almost done. I just have to, since this is a super form of his, like just a transformation, I like his outlines for when it's at its fur to not be black, but to be like a dark green. I'm going to use this tool called the ink tool, and I'm going to change. It's very subtle, but it makes a difference to me at least. Now, when it comes time to animate, I'll probably, instead of having to like redo it, I would just draw in that color to begin with to save time. I just gotta be careful because I get little nibs like this. Whatever. There we go. Yeah. I was worried because when it clashes with another color, it gets kind of ugly. I have to go in and fix it. But for the most part, doesn't happen, or if it does happen, I just have to put one line on top of the other. Just let it do that process. I'll leave his eye outlines black. Typically, I only make his fur outlines. I'm not touching these ones, so I'm gonna leave them black. I do this with Super Sonic too. Like normal Sonic, he has black outlines. All the characters have black outlines. But when I have Sonic or Shadow in their super forms, I make Sonic's a dark brown, or like a golden brown. Shadow's like a pale brown, and oops. Started using purple glass, and I started doing that because I noticed that's how Sonic X made their Super Sonic. I really liked how Sonic X did their Super Sonic colors. I leave pretty much everything else in the black outline, you know, for the sake of simplicity when I'm animating. For his fur, I make it a dark green, and to show you the difference from afar, that's what it looks like with a dark green line. But if I get black, So it just means a little softer look to it, which helps when I have R's behind them. It helps I can get the whole glowy thing down better. I think I made his back spike not too low. Yeah, I made a tangent here. That's fine. I wish the spike wasn't going in that way, but oh well. I'll make sure to avoid that next time. A little bit of cleanup. Now I'm just nitpicking. Again, you probably won't see this kind of stuff when it's actually animated, unless it's like a still. If it's a still drawing and the camera's just panning, I take more time to draw it since you're staring at it longer. But yes, this is Chaos Nazo, the new form of Nazo in the Wrath of Nazo. We will find out the source of his powers and what they can do compared to his old ones. In Act 1 of Wrath of Nazo. There is no release date for Act 1 yet, because I'm still storyboarding the end of Act 2 and Act 3. Again, I want to make this clear, I am not married to the 2019 deadline anymore for the entire film. Now that I've decided to split it up, I'm trying to see if I can take my time with the third one, and if the third part goes beyond 2019 for the secret quality, I'm fine with that. But my goal was to get Acts 1 and 2 definitely done before then, so we can have, or so I can have you guys watching the parts, sooner than later, and then I can, spend time making a Wrath of Nazo DX version with like animation improvements, corrections, and what have you for when. Because when I release Act 3, it's all going to be as one full film, and even when I'm done animating Act 3, I might go back into Act 1 and Act 2 and clean up some things. Yeah. So hopefully I'll have another update video of progress once Act 2 is done. I want to wait until Act 2 is done so then I can get voice actors' lines, and then I can show you some voiced scenes of characters to give you an idea of what Act 2 looking like and give you a little bit of a peek into that. There's a lot of spoilers in Act 2, so I'm trying to keep that, update videos on Act 2 to a minimum, and even more so with Act 3. But I think I'll be able to manage to show you guys a little something. Again, if you want to see more content like behind the scenes content like this, you can definitely, if you follow my Patreon. I post work in progress screenshots, speed draw videos, tutorials every now and then. Sometimes I give you early access to scenes, or I'll explain my process on how I switched up a scene, or whether I'm storyboarding or animating. So definitely feel free to check that out if you're interested. But yeah, let me know what you thought about the tutorial in the comments. Let me know if you want more help to draw videos in the future. For those interested, I probably will do basic animation tutorials once I start the animation process of the Wrath of Nazo. But for now, I'll hold off on any animation tutorials until then. But thanks for watching. You guys have a fantastic new year. Stay safe. And I look forward to what other art I can share with you come next year, whether it be original art, fan art, or Nazo based content. But yes, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.